Welcome to Daddies the podcast, featuring Eric and Greg. Join them each week as they hang with a new guest to talk about who they are, their why, and the stories that come up along the way. Thank you for being a part of the Daddies community.
Greg had some real questions about tea.
I was sick majority of last week, and for whatever reason, it was like our busiest shoot week,
Okay.
and I couldn't talk. Like voice gone, just a potato, right? So I didn't know what type of tea to get, and I'm a big coffee drinker, 4 to 5 cups a day.
Yeah.
So I was on every subreddit under the sun, Google, wherever, and I ended up with like a chamomile tea with just an S ton of honey. Is that it? Did I do it right?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, they do have an association with tea and being sick. It's definitely like not bad for you, but it's not necessarily, going to be like a magic wand either. So,
Oh, bummer.
Now, but we were talking to some musicians, like some singers, and they said that it helps they said that they think that it helps their vocal cords, their throat. Is there any credence to that?
I think just hot liquids in general are like really good for your vocal cords. It especially helps with like if you have like phlegm or things like that, keeping things, nice and clear.
So I went to Starbucks, and I guess they have, what is it, like the medicine ball or whatever.
Mhm.
And the first ingredient was hot lemonade.
Yeah, they like steam it the way they do espresso, like milk to make a latte. It's super weird.
Is that just like pseudo, like, get the medicine ball? Yeah, so Eric, it was literally like steamed lemonade with just a
Mhm.
bunch of stuff in it.
Yep.
Huh? No drugs though. Starbucks isn't selling drugs in there.
I doubt they're selling that for $5. But it was like, yeah, lemonade, and I ended up getting their like jasmine mint tea, which I'm not a big mint person, so like it was not my cup of tea. I'm sorry.
He said it.
Well, anyway, Nicole, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Pretty quick turnaround too. I feel like we got linked up like a week ago, so
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us.
No problem.
I saw. Are you in Jersey?
Yeah.
okay,
I'm
so
based
you're-
in Bayonne. Yeah.
So where in Jersey?
Bayonne.
So is that south or north?
North. So I'm like basically sandwiched between Jersey City and Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
We're in Delaware, so we're not like too far
Okay.
away. But
But we are aware of the beef between North Jersey and South Jersey.
yeah. But like if I asked you what's the good Jersey, you would say North Jersey, right? And
Yeah.
then South Jersey is
Yeah.
Obviously,
Is
we would
the-
agree.
is the beat Jersey. I mean, I feel like the only time I step into Jersey is to go to Camden to go for concerts.
And I don't condone that being a nice part of New
Yeah, well,
Jersey.
Even we're like, don't go to Camden.
I think even people that live in Camden agree not to go to Camden.
Don't go to Camden. I mean,
Yeah.
it's either Camden or Philly, and I think Philly's a lot nicer.
Mhm.
But I can't get down. We have this conversation a lot. Cities in general, like I can't. Do you find yourself in New York a lot? Because
Yeah, I work in New York, so yeah.
Okay. So do you have to is that a drive, or do you
I take the train. So
the train? Okay.
Yeah.
There, I saw like a viral. We have a lot of people in Delaware that commute to DC every day, which I
Mhm.
think is like just
Crazy,
mind.
right?
It is
Yeah.
crazy, right? Because your work week goes from like 40 hours to 60 hours real fast.
Mhm.
But someone went viral for like their come with me as I go to, I think it may have even been New York every day from Wilmington train station. And that's where we are now.
We did it. We did it not that
I'm
long
used
ago.
to commuting, but that's a hike.
That is a hike.
Mhm.
We went to New York back in July to shoot a concert, and we didn't get any tea, but we also did a Broadway show. So, I mean, like that's fun.
Mhm.
New York, not known for their tea, I don't think.
Or is New York known for their
correct
tea?
me if I'm wrong.
We actually do have a lot of great tea places, which is nice. Yeah. I'm actually working on like a Google Maps that's like a master list of like all the tea places.
Really?
So it's easy to find one.
Now, are you like? Do you drink coffee? Or
I do drink coffee.
Okay.
I only started in like 2020. So But the good thing about coffee is I don't have any standards for it. So, like, if I drink tea, I have standards, and that's a problem a lot of the time. Where I can drink any coffee and it's fine.
I'm right there. I'm inverse. I've got my coffee standards, but I have no tea standards. Here's my tea right here. This is the only tea I drink. It's sleepy time tea in a bag.
$2.99 for 12.
Yeah. And I watched, I very recently, in preparation for this, watched a video on, all about tea. And they basically said, if your tea is in a bag, it's no good. Good for you upon entering the tea scene. And I think that might be where I leave it, but I'm aware that there's a much deeper level of tea.
Yeah.
Wait, are you not supposed to drink it from the bag?
Wait, you're not supposed to just...
hold on.
Because what Greg's been doing, he takes the bag and squeezes his sips from the bag. Just kidding. Just
and
kidding.
then you get wait, okay, so when I tea now, I boil the hot water over the bag, 4 minutes, shit ton of honey, and then into mouth. That's it, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's lots of ways to make tea. The thing I always say about tea bags, a lot of people like to trash talk tea bags, but it's almost kind of like there has to be an entry point. Like nobody's going to start drinking high-end tea in America for no reason. You have to start with a tea somewhere and then gradually move up. It's kind of like yellowtail wine, like it exists because
some Franzia box
drink
wine,
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's baffling because I love coffee too, and but coffee is still, Eric is more of a coffee snob than I am, I think. But I wouldn't even say that you're super hold your nose,
I'll still drink a cup of coffee.
I'll still drink a cup of coffee.
Also because I'm just a slut for caffeine.
Yeah, well, that's fair. And I mean, it's
it does the job.
It's
Yes.
like shitty pizza is still fine because it's pizza at the end of the day.
Yes.
Right? But I feel like with me, tea, I'm drinking this right now and I'm really struggling because I'm not sick anymore. So
you just don't like tea.
I don't, but I've only had, can I confess, this is the first time I've ever had tea was on Monday of last week.
Yeah.
So I've had 6 cups. So
I'm sure you've had iced tea.
Oh, okay. But brisk doesn't count.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I feel like that's
Probably
not
for this discussion's purposes.
But is tea I don't like IPAs anymore, but I used to really like them. Is it like an IPA where you have to drink it a lot to,
On some level, yes. Also, tea is not a single thing. So that's also, I think a lot of people will try a Lipton tea bag once and hate it and will never drink tea again because in their head that's what tea is. And so it's a lot of it is that there's just levels and layers, that there's literally thousands of kinds of tea that you've just never been exposed to as an American who doesn't drink tea.
I was on the tea subreddit and everyone kept saying you got to be careful. the tea subreddit and everyone was like you I hope you're not allergic to hope you're not allergic to one of the flowers or something. What do you? I don't know. Is there a statistic of how many people are going into anaphylactic shock from drinking tea? What are the odds?
Yeah, no, that's definitely seems like a one-off weird comment. Yeah,
subreddit
I
talk?
knew a guy whose neighbor died from it.
It's
so...
the same person who knew somebody who had their seatbelt on,
off?
And if they, right. If it was off. If it was on, they would have been trapped in the vehicle. But 99% of the time, it's the complete opposite. Nicole, did I see though you were in Japan?
Yeah, so I went to Japan in September for 2 weeks to study tea.
Oh, so it was a straight, you were there for the tea.
Yes, I pretty much did nothing but tea for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Wow. So what was that like?
Yeah, it was incredible. First of all, my first time leaving North America, so very exciting just in that respect. But just really deep diving, I was able to visit tea farms and all kinds of really interesting tea businesses around Kyoto. So it was really a really intensive deep dive into tea and tea culture there.
So I guess I never really thought about it, but everywhere else probably has a better tea culture than we do, right?
I mean, that's part of it.
Right?
Weirdly enough, America actually had a really great tea culture before the Boston Tea Party. So like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, all of those guys were tea heads. They would order chests of tea from China and have them sent here. So yeah, it's little
And we've
known
kind of just taken a
history. Yeah.
stand against tea since then.
Yeah, exactly.
But the people that like tea, like that is the hill that they will die on. And like Eric and I, we have people that we work with that just drink tea and like anti-coffee. You can have both. You know, you can both can live in harmony together, right?
There's always a lot of discourse about that. Even in the tea industry, I feel like there's a lot of like jealousy of like how pervasive coffee is, and that like the third wave was able to get people to care about origin and all this stuff that like people just don't care about enough for tea yet. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
Was it Starbucks that bought out Teavana just to take like 2 of their teas and put them out of business?
Yeah, basically. I worked at Teavana.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
So that was fun, yeah.
I mean, because I remember you would walk by the Teavana at the mall and they would always they would have the little tray and you would get the samples. Eric, I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I would never drink it.
But they still sell 2 or 3 of the...
Yeah, they have like some of the teas in tea bag form that like you can get there and maybe like on the shelf in Target.
Like the whole buyout thing, I'm thinking about who is it? Netflix buying Warner Brothers and HBO for like $83 billion almost.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it's crazy that, I mean, granted, that's entertainment, but like that someone can just come in and scoop the entirety of something. And like, I mean, with Starbucks to essentially put just a business out of business.
Yeah.
And like, I mean,
it was very Tommy Boy. If you remember Tommy Boy.
Before, like the company that made their pastries was an independent bakery with a chain, and they kind of just like absorbed it the same way they did Teavana. So yeah.
I don't know.
It's a compliment though, right? Is it a worthy compliment? Like something that you want? Do the owners just get like, that's cool, we're getting paid?
Yeah, the higher up you are, the cooler it is. But I think when you're just working as a store associate, it sucks because then you lose your job probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I saw, I don't know if you have Kirkland, but Bed Bath & Beyond just bought them out yesterday.
Kirkland, like not Costco Kirkland.
No, like Kirkland. Wait, is Costco Kirkland's or Kirkland?
I think it's Kirkland.
The home goods store, Bed Bath & Beyond, like Bed Bath & Beyond bought them out to then take over their stores and bring back Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh. I thought Bed Bath & Beyond was just gone.
They totally went bankrupt, and Bye Bye Baby also went bankrupt with them.
But then like Overstock bought Bed Bath & Beyond. So,
yeah, right. Yeah. And then they were doing like online, like straight to consumer. But then you know what? Kohl's got Babies R Us, I think. And then like Toys R Us is now also back. Like the whole thing. Yeah, Toys R Us is back.
So they're just like shuffling. They're just shuffling organizations.
I mean, it's the same like 5 companies own the world. That's pretty much.
Yeah. It's pretty depressing to see that chart that says, like, here's all your favorite brands and here's who owns them.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, did I see that? Speaking of drinks, so it's Keurig Dr. Pepper, but did they split recently?
I'm not sure. I didn't see anything about that, but could be.
I don't know.
Greg, you're way up on your
apparently I'm up on
your
my
conglomerate.
Are we not? Is that not what we were doing today? Talking about like
corporate takeovers?
Yeah, right. Oh, all right.
So to go back to Japan, I've heard that Japan also has a fantastic coffee culture.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of the cafes there aren't open in the morning, so it's like a different kind of coffee culture where like here typically you would like stop at a cafe to get your coffee on your way to work. Where a lot of the coffee places I never even really managed to get coffee because like I would have to be in class before the like the cafes in the area actually opened up. They would probably like it was usually around 10 o'clock or a little bit later that they would open, which was interesting.
Are you a sushi eater?
I do like sushi. Yes.
Okay, so what was the like? Eric and I always make this joke. We took a trip to Cali back in like 2019, like right as COVID was about to like end the world, and we make the joke now. Well, we've had sushi from coast to coast,
but literally only on the coast,
only on the coast. But how good is it over there?
Yeah, it's just. Honestly, food in general was just another level there. First of all, just the cost of food is so significantly less. I felt like I was stealing from them by buying
Oh,
it.
really? Is it cheaper?
So much cheaper. I mean, I had like a Wagyu beef burger with fries and a soda for $20 that I was like,
wow,
this would be $50 at home. That like, yeah.
Sure would be.
I mean, Christ, for 4 people at McDonald's, it's like $45 and you're getting McDonald's.
Yeah, that's your McDonald's cost here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, I see a lot of 7-Eleven's big over there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I see a lot of their 7-Elevens have like no people. It's like just a bunch of cameras everywhere. I don't know if that's
I didn't
accurate.
see any like that, but it's definitely, there's a few different, there's 7-Eleven and a few other chains. They call them the konbinis. So like in Japan, they love to shorten words. So convenience store just eventually turned into konbini.
It's not even that much shorter.
No.
I know, but it's funner to say,
That is. I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I would love to go just to like.
I've heard so many good things. I've heard that it's not difficult to get around as an English speaker either.
It depends on where you are. I was in Kyoto City, which is like it's a weird mix of like modern, but also it's a very old city too, as it used to be the capital of Japan. And so most people there did speak English. But then like when we went out into the countryside, like where the tea farms are, it's very different there. So I think it does depend on like, if you're in a major city, definitely. We did do some traveling kind of like unguided, unassisted, unsupervised by our, teachers. And that was interesting. Like we wound up taking a bus through the countryside and we just like stuck out like sore thumbs but everybody was so nice and really accommodating. So
isn't that you go anywhere else and everyone's super accommodating, and then I'm not going to be that person, but you go to other countries and they speak multiple languages, and then it's it doesn't translate well over here.
Definitely.
Yeah, we are not as accommodating.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, even just anytime there was a language barrier, even like say a hotel worker, I had a question, and they would just like whip out a pocket translator thing. And would just, just the spirit of hospitality was very, very different. Like you would definitely not have the same experience dealing with a hotel worker in America.
Especially in like, even like here in Delaware, I feel like you're not getting that hospitality.
Yeah,
well, Delaware can be pretty redneck at times.
Pretty,
so.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 66% of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was talking to my kids about traveling, and we joke that we really only travel in America. But we got our passports. We went on a cruise back in February, and it was awesome. It was a lot of fun, but we had to get our passports for it. And I was talking to the kids. I was like, we can go travel. And they were like, let's go back to Outer Banks. And I was like, no, think bigger, think bigger. And I've wanted to go to Japan. I love, ramen and sushi, and I guess it sounds like a very fun place to go. But what's intimidated me was not being able to speak a lick of Japanese. So then that's on my list. Also going to like some place where they do speak English, like London or something. But London isn't high on my list of places to go. But just to get out of the country, it sounds achievable.
But also, like, the food sounds horrid over there, and like blood sausage and like baked beans with every meal.
You want beans on your breakfast?
Yeah, no, I'm way good. I do like the fish and chips. I keep seeing this. It's some company out there that it's fish and chips, but they have like curry that you can get with your like here. What do we have? We have like fish and chips, right? And it's like that stereotypical like London British looking place, and you get tartar sauce. But there they have curry, they have hot sauce, ketchup, and you can have it 1,000 different ways. And they also deep fry any candy bar you want. Yeah. I know.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
that's cool.
Don't
but
sell
is that,
me on London.
But is that worth a trip where for breakfast you're getting baked beans and blood sausage?
No.
And what's that spread that they put on their toast?
Not Vegemite.
Or is that Australian?
Oh, that's Australian. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then never mind. All right.
I don't know. I don't know that spread. Or is that the spread you were talking about? Just wrong place.
It might be the wrong place. Maybe
But Australia is just outlaw London as outlaw United Kingdom. Isn't that right?
But then you're also flying for what, 20 plus hours to get there?
Yeah, flying that far. Like, I broke it up by going to Vancouver first and then layovering there and going, which was almost kind of halfway, but it was still a lot. Definitely very long flights.
Well,
Pacific Ocean is very large.
Yeah, right. And then you land and you're just a potato because I feel like once you're there, your body's playing catch up. What's the time difference?
Yeah, it's a 13-hour difference.
So ahead or behind us? I guess
ahead.
Ahead,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So yeah,
So they're in
trying
the
to
future.
coordinate like phone calls with my husband was just like, yeah.
we ran into that, and we were in Cali and 3 hours behind. Do you remember that?
Is this when Greg booked this, we knew that our flight was going to get there very, very late. And for some reason, God, was it that the flight landed in the next day?
Yes.
Or something along those lines. So he booked a room for the day we were going to arrive, which was not the day that you had to be like have the room for. So you're like, yeah, we'll be ready for you at like 3 p.m. and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and they just didn't have a room for us at all.
Oh,
So
no.
we are just not good at time zones at all.
And they ended up sticking us in this like real crappy hotel across the street, and it was like this.
It was the handicap accessible.
It was. So
room.
everything was like super low to the ground.
The peephole was at my belly button.
Yeah, it was a really weird time. But then like we passed out, and I guess like our wives were calling us, and they're like, "Are you guys good? Because we haven't heard from you in hours. You're in the."
We were about to be homeless in like Inglewood.
Yeah. So it wasn't great. But awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time and
Yeah, of course.
talking a little bit of tea to kind of I guess help my understanding a little bit.
Yeah, I'm always happy to talk tea. I think for a lot of people, it's just like a lack of exposure and understanding of it versus like you haven't had a chance to like it.
That's yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on it. That's going to be my homework over the next 2 weeks.
Definitely.
I'm going to try to develop
Over the next 2 weeks.
over the next 2 weeks. I'm
homework.
going to give myself 14 days.
Is there like a nice starter resource for people, like if they do want to get into the world of tea that's available?
Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely my site's a good place to start. I've been writing about tea for 17 years, so I've got tons of like just educational articles, just kind of trying to make things like easy to understand and approachable, because it can be intimidating to, get into it at first. But there's definitely like some really good books out there that, I find it can be helpful to have a similar approach to like somebody who's getting interested in wine or coffee, to like get a book and you don't necessarily have to read it cover to cover. But like when what you're drinking is in the book, flip to those pages and just give yourself like a quick little mini lesson without you having to digest like a textbook of information, because that could be hard to, first of all, find time to do, but also like have the bandwidth to do that.
Yeah, you're just on full tea mode. But I know people that do that, that just dive headfirst into a thing and just become obsessed with it.
Oh, no, I do that.
Great. I know you do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking at you. You have a very addictive personality.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what I do. So, all right, I'll check it out. And,
Is
finding... sorry.
I had just a question. Is that, like a sommelier is for wine. Is there that for tea?
There is, yeah. So I'm actually like along the process of becoming certified as a sommelier through the Tea and Herbal Association of Canada. But they're basically just anything that you can do with like a wine sommelier would do, you can do with tea too. So you can pair with food, you can, do all kinds of fun things like that. So there's definitely like just way, way more on tea that you could it's kind of a rabbit hole. When I first got into this, I didn't even really know that it was going to turn into that. But one of my favorite things about it is that I'm still learning new things, 17 years down the line. So it kind of just always keeps you wanting to learn more.
Mm. And how do you feel about matcha? I heard that's the hotness right now.
Yeah, matcha is bonkers. It's crazy because, I was just one of my teachers from when I was in Japan is a tea farmer, and he was just visiting New York City the other day. So we like met up and we were talking about this, that, it's when I first got into tea, I would take the train to New York City, go to Whole Foods and buy matcha because it was the only place you could get matcha at that time, 17 years ago.
Right.
And now matcha is so crazy. It's everywhere. Especially in New York, there's like matcha cafes opening up all over the place. In Japan, they're really struggling with being able to keep up with supply because like they knew matcha's been popular for a while, but the level that it has reached now, Japan's a small place and there's only so much land that can be given to tea. Matcha's not the only tea they make.
Right.
And they also have an issue of like a rapidly aging tea farmer population. So the younger generation doesn't necessarily they don't see the, advantages of being involved in agriculture. They want to go to the city and work in tech or, something that they see as more viable. So you have a lot of farmers. The average age of a tea farmer is like in their 60s to 70s.
That's terrifying.
So wait, do you think that there's going to be a time where tea is like it starts to go away, or like it starts to diminish, or I guess it would just get more expensive and then start to dwindle?
Yeah, so we're kind of on the precipice of that now. What people are hoping is that this causes a resurgence, that, people will see the value of Japanese tea and matcha because, there's a ton of international demand for it. The demand in Japan is really lower than it has ever been. And so that's part of the problem too, that they just weren't that prepared for this influx because, matcha traditionally was used for Japanese tea ceremonies. And that is something that's a bit I wouldn't say a dying art, but it's definitely not something that's as popular as it was in the past. And so, there's a lot of infrastructure that just wasn't in place to deal with all of this demand that they're having.
The matcha boom.
Yeah, prices have like tripled. It's really crazy.
Could you grow it elsewhere, or would it then not be considered to be matcha?
So it depends on who you ask. So there are a lot of people who say, matcha is strictly Japanese. And part of that can be true because similar to wine or coffee, like tea has terroir, where the place it grows influences the taste. And so you can take the same tea plant and grow it in 5 different countries, and it's going to taste different in each one of those because the soil's different, the weather's different. There's a lot of different factors. But there's no real rules as to, there's no regulations as to what matcha is necessarily.
They don't own the matcha brand, not like champagne from Champagne, France, or what's the one? Is it whiskey from some place in Tennessee or something? Is that it? Is it whiskey?
Scotch is whiskey only from Scotland. So there's just no like geographic indicator regarding matcha. And historically, matcha originated from China, technically. So during the Song Dynasty, they were drinking tea in powdered form. And that was when it was brought over to Japan. They then eventually, their culture changed and refined it from there. But so China is actually stepping in to kind of make up for some of that lack of supply because they do have the infrastructure for massive tea production. And some people in Japan told us, go drink Chinese matcha because they're like, we can't keep up and it's going to hurt us if we try to,
Right.
So, but then there were other people who didn't see it that way. So it really did depend on like who you talk to, just, was what their perspective is.
I feel like I've only had matcha once and it was super bitter.
I definitely don't have a great memory of matcha myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was eating like good stuff or and maybe it was like matcha like macaron or something.
No, Greg, we went to the Ramen Kumamoto and had matcha. It was matcha something. I think there was like matcha. No, never mind. I'm getting my words mixed up. It was mochi.
Wait, mochi is awesome.
Mochi, the little mochi.
It's like the ice cream and the little rice cake, or like the
matcha
little
mochi. So maybe that's what you had.
You know what? Maybe it was a matcha mochi.
And you know what?
Yes.
They had matcha mochi, and then they had red bean curd
and it's
mochi,
so good.
which was
no, it's so good. No, it's like the best ice cream.
No.
Yes.
All right. Well, I have very negative memories of mochi.
Yeah. Right. Awesome.
But yeah, a lot of times with matcha, it's the quality really makes a big difference. And then also preparing it, that like if it's not made, and it's tricky because there's not necessarily like a proper way to make tea, but if you're not enjoying the taste, it's probably because the way it's being made needs to be changed.
I see. That makes sense. Yeah. So people can, I guess you got to like kind of give it more than one try, I guess, if you're going to go for it. Because you probably aren't going to get it right your first time. And
it can be like an acquired taste too, because I mean, matcha is very concentrated because you're basically eating the whole tea leaf instead of brewing it like you would with normal leaf tea. And then it also has like a very, very vegetal taste. So like people who like seaweed usually like matcha. But if you're somebody who like doesn't really eat a lot of seaweed, you're not really exposed to a lot of things that have like an umami taste to them, you might feel it just like really weird the first time you have it.
I feel compelled to want to like it. I feel like I want to prove to myself that I can like these flavors. I'll give it another try and not in mochi form. Thanks for listening to Daddies the Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, drop a review, and give us a like. We'll see you next time.